We are here on Monday, but not a good Monday, by the way. Over the weekend, we lost the Kenya President of Kenya Volleyball Federation, Waithaka Kioni, who has served for over 40 years, a career spanning 40 years in the industry. It happens, and clearly the volleyball fraternity has lost something big. They have lost a leader, they've lost an administrator who has really worked tirelessly to see the volleyball, or the game of volleyball in this country, get the next level. That is Waithaka Kioni.
Uliniwacha mi bila fahamu kuwa ni yako zamu, angalau ungeniambia eti unakam nitulize hamu wangu wa dhati. Hey, tama zangu zimenikwamia mikononi, labda huu ni mwisho wa dunia. Safiri salama, msalimu Maulana, tutaonana baadaye. Safiri salama, msalimu Maulana, tutaonana baadaye. Ndio, tutaonana baadaye, mpendwa, ndio. Tutaonana baadaye. Nakam, mpendwa, tabasamu, tutaonana baadaye. Nakam, mpendwa, tabasamu, tutaonana baadaye. Ndio, tutaonana baadaye. Nakam, mpendwa, tabasamu, tutaonana baadaye. Nakam.
Truly, we are living borrowed time. Kenya Volleyball Federation President Waithaka Kioni has died. According to the statement from the National Olympics Committee of Kenya, Kioni was reportedly taken ill yesterday and rushed to a hospital in Nairobi, where he succumbed. Kenya Volleyball Federation has suspended all volleyball activities in honor of the pioneer of volleyball in the country. Time was always chasing Waithaka Kioni. The longest-serving president of the Kenya Volleyball Federation has died aged 70. According to a statement by the National Olympics Committee of Kenya President Paul Terogat, the veteran administrator died moments after 1 a.m. on Sunday morning after he was reportedly taken ill and rushed to a hospital in Nairobi.
We are very, very sad because we have lost a very dedicated and very committed and very, very fruitful and productive leader. He's a mentor to many. He's been a mentor to many. He's played a key role to putting Kenya on the map where it is now, right on top of Africa, and threatening to get to the higher echelons in the world ranking.
Players and officials from the volleyball fraternity were gathered here at Kasarani Indoors Arena when the news broke. A moment of prayer to reflect on the unimaginable. Grief engulfed many who turned up here for a volleyball tournament that was not to serve of.
He's walked this path and he has actually cultivated a lot of volleyball in Kenya. He has gone to grassroots to get girls who are so disadvantaged to play the game. He has also mentored leaders who are actually walking in his footsteps to put volleyball on the world. He actually took Kenya for the first time to participate in the World Championship in Japan, where we were not known and we made an impact.
Kioni studied public administration at the University of Nairobi and then joined the Standard Media Group in 1978 to 1979. He left the Kenya Pipeline Company in 1980 and played a critical role in the formation of the Kenya Pipeline Volleyball Club in 1984. In 1998, Kioni was elected the Kenya Volleyball Association national chairman before it changed its name to Kenya Volleyball Federation in the year 2000.
We have grown because of him. He has mentored us when we were players. Now I'm a coach. He gave me the chance to be a national team coach. He was now showing me how I can be the leader of this volleyball family.
Until his demise, Kioni was the vice president of the Confederation of Africa Volleyball and the second vice president of the National Olympics Committee of Kenya. He was serving his final term at the Kenya Volleyball Federation ahead of the national elections scheduled for April 29th. The lights have dimmed for Waithaka Kioni, a man who has raised talents from the grassroots right here in Kenya to the international stage. The volleyball fraternity is saddened by the news that he is no more. But sad as they may be, they have to continue the legacy that he leaves behind. Jeff Magire, KTN News, Nairobi. Well, lights have dimmed for Waithaka Kioni, a man who has served for 40 years in the sports industry, who was here as an administrator at Standard Media Group 1978, 1979, 1980. He left for Kenya Pipeline Company in 1984. He's the pioneer of Kenya Pipeline Volleyball women's team that today has conquered Africa, that's conquered national leagues, and they continue to fly high. Sugar Ray, yes. Good morning and welcome. It's been a long weekend for the sporting fraternity. Kioni is not only an administrator of volleyball. He's been serving in the CFVB, that is Confederation of Africa Volleyball, as a vice president. He has been serving as a second vice president for the National Olympics Committee, which is an overall body. Yes. He was a chief de mission when you started the first, you went to the Africa Games when you were a player, by the way, when you were a boxer.
Yes.
How do you remember Kioni?
Kioni was a wonderful administrator. And my first experience, like you have rightly said, was in 1999 when I was a young member of Hit Squad. And he was our chief de mission when we went for the 7th All African Games in Johannesburg, South Africa. And he really provided leadership because we had a few challenges, especially with the issue of allowances. I think we traveled without money, so the money was to be paid in South Africa. And there was a point where we almost went on strike. And Kioni came and talked to us. He was a leader, and being our chief de mission, he was able to facilitate and solve the problem that we had. And somehow I've always interacted with him. He was my friend. But at that time, when around that time, we had our volleyball team. They used to be called Golden Girls. There was a time in Africa, I think we had won the title more than 6 years in a row.
Yeah.
And Kioni was at the helm of that project. We had some wonderful, wonderful players, the likes of Doris Wefuafua, Helen Elele, Doris Dasaba. Yeah. So we had a very good crop of volleyball stars who are dominating the continent. And it's around that time also they were able to make their first Olympic Games. Then I think from the time when in the early 90s, they were also able to become Africa champions and going to the World Championship. I remember he had major plans of trying to transform volleyball in the country, working together with Paul Bitok, and I'm very happy with what I've seen, the comments I've seen from Paul Bitok, because he was trying to nurture Bitok to take over from him. I've seen the changes that they have been able to put together with Paul Bitok. We are trying to ensure that volleyball is an indoor game, so they don't go and play in grass. They ensure that all matches are played indoor. They have made a wonderful arrangement with the International Volleyball Federation to see that Brazilian coaches come to coach our team. And from the time the Brazilians have come in, our statistics have really improved. And I was lucky again to work with him during the Tokyo Olympic Games, where he was the chief de mission, ironically, and this time I was the team manager of Hit Squad. So again, we got to work together and we had a wonderful working relationship. I believe he's a great person who we have lost. And for sure, sometimes we say he has left a wide gap. This is a very big gap that he has left, because the kind of experience that Kioni has, it's not easy to get anybody who can get as much experience of more than 40 years administering a particular sport, and the leadership from the grassroots level up to the international level. We will surely miss him, and I would like to convey my sincere condolences to the family and friends of the late Kioni, together with members of the Volleyball Federation here locally and internationally. So I believe Kioni did a wonderful job as a person, and the work that he did, the legacy that he left, forming the club, Africa champions for a lot of very many years, Kenya Pipeline. That is a legacy that Kioni will be remembered for, because the work that he did when he was alive will always supersede even his life, and we will keep talking about what he did when he was here with us.
Thank you so much, Duncan Kuria, the Director of Communication there from the Boxing Federation of Kenya, talking about Waithaka Kioni, a man whose career spans over 40 years. Soft-spoken, but very tough. That's who Kioni was. I was with him just a week ago when he was launching the Paul Bitoka tournament at KCB grounds here in Nairobi. It's sad that he will not be seeing that tournament end.